All right, good evening, everybody. It's 5:30 on Thursday, May the 7th. This is our pre-agenda meeting for the Town of Spencer Board of Aldermen. We are called to order, and we'll begin with an invocation followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. So we'll start with the invocation. Father God, we thank you for this day and much needed rain over the past several days. We thank you for the rain and the abundant life that it brings. And we thank you for the abundant life that we have here in our community of Spencer. We thank you for new announcements, reinvestment in our community. And we thank you for the leadership of our staff and those that sit beside me tonight. Help us in all that we do, that we consider what is best for our town and our residents and businesses, and that our decisions may follow accordingly. Amen. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. We will begin this evening our pre-agenda meeting. We traditionally review our agenda for the upcoming Tuesday regular meeting, and so we'll do that. But the first item, we do have a public hearing this evening for rezoning of parcel 324047 at 708 Hawkinstown Road from an SFR-2 single-family residential 2 to an SFR-3 single-family residential 3 zoning classification. Mr. Blunt.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the board. I'll run through this fairly quickly since we don't have a big crowd. This is both a very simple rezoning, but it's a fairly complicated situation that led to it. So I'll walk you through the various steps that we're looking at. The first step is what you're looking at tonight as far as the public hearing goes, is the actual rezoning of 708 Hawkinstown Road from SFR2 to SFR3. And I'll also give you some information about where this will be heading further down the road. As you can maybe see from that chart, if you can read it, I can't read it from where I am, but SFR2 requires a slightly larger lot size than SFR3. And that is purely the reason that we're asking for this zoning, is because the future steps in this process need for this lot to be a little smaller than it is right now. As normally, we'll show you where it's located. It's on Hawkinstown Road, right across from the Hawthorne Meadows Townhome project. We'll swing in a little closer so you can see that the lot in blue is the one we're looking at, right across from the secondary entrance to that project. As normal, we look at all the zoning classifications around this to make sure we're not doing what would be called spot rezoning, but there are a number of SFR 1, 2s, 3s, AGs, and RMSTs in this area, so it's not considered spot rezoning. I'll also remind you that in your comprehensive land use plan that was adopted a few years back, you encouraged the recombination of small plots in an effort to build slightly larger lots that we could do high density residential development on. And that's where this is all heading. So now I'll show you the bigger picture. The lot that we're looking at is the one with the gold star on it, but the property owner who is here tonight, if you have any questions of him, also owns those 3 other parcels with the other stars on them. And that's looking down on it. The one to the right is where he lives, Mr. Morrison. The one in the middle is the one we're talking about rezoning, and the 2 slightly larger behind that. And this will give you a better understanding of what he owns at this time, those 4 lots. You'll also see from that picture, right there, that the lot we're looking at, the rear property line actually runs right through the house. I don't know how that happened when all this was parceled out, but it was done a long, long time ago. In an effort to recombine this to allow him to do some future development of those rear lots, if we actually left it in the current zoning, that lot line would have to move back and protrude into those 2 lots. So that's what he's got now. The future recombination of those 4 lots will look like that. So the lot that we're looking at today will be slightly narrower, but deep enough to cover where the actual house is. So it fixes a couple problems along with helping him develop this land. The reason for all this rejiggering is this. So at the end of this whole process, what he will come out with is a parcel that is large enough to do what he hopes to do with it, which is develop some type of multifamily housing on that property. That's not what you're considering tonight. We will have a rezoning for that parcel. We'll also have an annexation of that parcel because he plans to hook on the municipal water and sewer. So all we're looking at tonight is just the rezoning of that one front lot. Obviously, from the turnout, not a controversial issue. The future may bring a bigger crowd to talk to you. We'll see how that turns out also. These are the various steps that we're going to be going through, and I'm not going to read these out to you, but obviously, once we get this lot corrected to the right zoning classification, then he can go back to his surveyor and let him resurvey, do a recombination survey is what it's called. Bring that to me to approve the subdivision of the property into the parcels as he desires. And then from there, he will come back to us with the rezoning request for that rear lot and also with an annexation request for that rear lot. So those steps are in the future. All you're being asked to look at tonight is just the rezoning of that first lot. And I'll back you up to those two pictures. You can see just flipping back and forth. It's a nice square little lot now with the rear lot line right through the middle of the house. It'll be a deeper, skinnier lot once we do the rezoning. The reason this all started, he actually had a surveyor do the drawing and brought the drawing to me, and the rear lot line protruded into that rear lot, and I asked Patrick why he did that, and he said he didn't know. He's got to go talk to a surveyor. Surveyor said Steve should know because I can't draw a lot for a subdivision that's an illegal lot. And if he had made it shorter, it would have been too small to meet that zoning classification. So the surveyor, Mr. Schulenberger, caught that, and we're glad he did. So I'll let you have your public hearing, all right? I'll answer any questions you might have first.
Any questions for Mr. Blunt?
He plans to build a driveway to connect all
Those plans are very, very preliminary, and if he builds it based on my sketching, he's going to be sorry. He will hire a professional to design it all out. So at this point, I can't answer any questions about the future development because we don't have plans before us.
But right now, he's got a right of way to get. Well, he owns the property.
He owns the
property. Don't worry about right of way.
Right.
Okay.
I've found the updates to other properties that he owns to be wonderful to watch on my daily commute. It's been remarkable to see life come back to those properties. So
that whole area, I get calls every day of people trying to do things with their property. So this whole area is growing rapidly. We'll have another, I think I gave you a preliminary look at one with the 30 lot subdivision. When we do that one, I assure you, you'll have a bunch of folks here to talk to. So again, all we're asking for you tonight is a public hearing on that one lot being rezoned SFR2 to SFR3.
Okay. Board, any other questions? If not, we'll open the public hearing. We currently don't have anyone signed up to speak, but we will give, if there's anybody that is here that wishes to, we'll give you an opportunity. Mr. Morrison, if you want to speak, we'll give you an opportunity to as well.
Excuse the appearance, I just got off work. Basically, when I invested in Hawkinstown Road, I seen a lot of things that I wanted to try to do and improve what was around me. And so I started investing in the property. Pretty much hindsight, seeing what's going on across the street from me. And I have a property to do a smaller scale to try to bring additional revenue to me and my company, okay? So enlarging this lot, because I don't, for the world of me, I don't know how it ended up through the house that I own, how the property line went straight through the middle of the home. So correcting this is going to allow me for future development in behind me. And just trying to stay in line with the zoning, make sure that when I'm doing this, there's no problem. Okay? There's a lot of people upset. Number one, starting out with the development across the street from him, and they were asking my opinion, and I'm a contractor, I'm an investor. So what really could I say? I couldn't say anything. Okay? But I know this house growth that we're going through, if we don't take advantage for the town, I've been here 30 years, and to be in a dormant town for almost 20 some years, it's exciting to see the town grow. It's exciting to see the town change, town hall, the park. I own property on Fifth Street. I was one of the first ones to invest to do like a commercial residential. My ex-wife was an attorney there for so many years, and we made a home above it. Enjoy it. I raised two daughters here. Both of them are doing great. Both of them graduated from North Moran. One's a CPA accountant, working at a military station in Norfolk, Virginia, in the accounting department. The other one has a full scholarship at Chapel Hill. So I believe in this area. I see my kids, they're achieving. I feel like this North has a bad rap. We get a lot of things pointed towards us, a lot of issues, but I do believe in Spencer. If I didn't, I wouldn't invest in it, okay? And I've been here a while, okay? So hopefully I can get this moving forward with the enlargement of that lot, and then I'll come back in front of you. Hopefully I'm looking better, to discuss the other side of this of what I'm trying to do, okay?
Very good. Thank you, sir.
All right, appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Mhm.
All right, board, as we have no one else signed up for public comment, is there a motion to close the public hearing at this time? So moved. Motion by Mr. Muhammad. Second by Ms. Sledge. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? All right, all opposed? And the public hearing is closed. We'll move on now to review of our May 12th agenda for next Tuesday. I need a volunteer to give the invocation, and actually it says call to order, that I'll be doing the call to order, but Mayor Pro Tem Muhammad will be doing the call to order because I will be out of town on Tuesday. So do we have a volunteer for the invocation? Thank you, Mr. Miller. All right. Mr. Muhammad, you'll lead the Pledge of Allegiance. We'll have an opportunity for additions or deletions to the agenda and adoption of the agenda. And then we will have an opportunity for recognitions. There is a recognition on here, but Peter has asked that we hold that recognition until our June meeting, so we'll pull that one off.
That's correct.
Are there any other recognitions, though, from board members that need to be made on Tuesday?
I'm imagining, given this time of school year, Miss Patty probably is going to have one when she joins us. So,
Fair point.
I'd like to make a recognition, please.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to recognize Miss Millie
Yes.
for passing.
Yep. That would be recognition of Millie Thompson on her passing. Mr. Miller will do that. Thank you. Okay. Anything else?
I think the community appearance committee had a successful tea party.
Mm-hmm.
We should maybe mention.
Okay. You want to do that?
I can do that.
Okay. All right.
I'd like to go in, Mr. Mayor, for the law enforcement car show that was held last weekend at the transportation museum.
Okay. Any others? Lots of good stuff to celebrate. Okay. We'll then have an opportunity for public comment and our consent agenda. And so right now we have nothing on the consent agenda, so this evening we can figure out what we want to add to the consent agenda. And I would suggest that we start with approval of minutes from our April meetings to add that to the consent agenda. Everybody good with that?
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I have not had a chance to review those. I got them yesterday and today, I think, but I will have those reviewed,
All right.
and I think it'd be fine to move them to consent.
So we will add them to consent contingent upon Ms. Sledge's final review.
And if there are any grammatical or any changes that Ms. Sledge catches, I'll send them to you guys.
Perfect.
Updated.
Thank you. And thanks to Ms. Sledge for her
Well,
review of those.
well,
You're a good team working together.
our clerk does a wonderful job. That's
She
all I can
does.
say.
All right, the next will be next item is to consider adopting ordinance 26-03, and that will be amending the town's official zoning map based on the public hearing for the property at 708 Hawkinstown Road that we just held this evening. So that should remain a regular agenda item. And then we will receive a presentation from Mr. Morris on an informational update on grants for our town park gateway arch. And so I think he's got some good news that he'll be able to share with us on Tuesday about that.
And just for context on that, you've heard about this project and some of the grants. We have had success. We were heading towards trying to put together budget amendments and all this sort of thing to accommodate that and be able to move forward. We've determined that we don't need to do budget amendments. We don't need to get authority to execute grants. All of that has been taken care of in previous amendments to our park project fund. But we do want to give you an update on what's going on in the next steps. We think that'd be helpful to you.
Good. And then we'll have an opportunity for departmental reports and our town manager report, and then an opportunity for requests and comments by mayor and board. And if needed, executive session. There is a request then that we recess until a date to be determined, which I believe, Peter, you want to try and set that date this evening, is that right?
Yes, please.
And the purpose of that would be then to have the budget presentation of for our upcoming fiscal year, that initial budget presentation to the board. Mm-hmm. Peter, you want to talk a little bit about potential dates for that?
Yeah, so the two options I'm hoping that y'all have had the chance to think about would be 2 p.m. on Tuesday, May 19th. We believe that's a time that everyone hopefully will be able to be here. On May 20th in the evening is another possible date, although we know that Mayor Williams will not be able to be here that date. And so those are, as a starting place, two options for when we could reconvene to get the budget presentation.
What time again on May 19th did we say?
Suggestion would be 2 p.m.
2 p.m.
My preference would be any time when as many of our board members and town staff can be present as possible.
Okay, let's see by show of hands who on Tuesday at 2 p.m. May 19th can be available. Okay, so that is, we're not sure about Patty. Okay, and then but Rashid can't.
I'll try.
Okay, but tentatively.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what about the evening of, what time did you say on the 20th?
On the 20th, it could. I mean, typically we would do this at a 5:30 time, so that's why it's
Tuesday or Wednesday. I mean, May 20th, who could be available at 5:30?
You can't, Dave.
I cannot. I'll be traveling, and you can't either. Okay, so it sounds to me, and Steve, I don't think can either.
It doesn't make any difference
Okay.
either day.
Okay.
So I'd rather see you there more importantly.
So it looks like Tuesday, May 19th at 2 p.m. is going to be the better option. And then Rashid hopefully can, but we certainly understand. We understand if you can't. Okay. All right, so we will set that for then, and so that means Rashid, at the end of the meeting, as we get to the end of the meeting on Tuesday, rather than adjourning, we'll just recess until 2 p.m. Yeah. And then we will then reconvene on that date and time and receive the recommended budget for fiscal year 26 and 27 at that time. And then we'll be able to adjourn on the 19th. With that, the only other item that I did want to bring to you this evening, Peter, I believe, sent out some information, and that is coming out of our City Vision Conference, where several of us were with other municipal leaders in Raleigh this week. A lot of information about property taxes and the property tax reform bills that are out there that the state is trying to push through. The Senate yesterday voted to pass the Senate bill related to that would put a moratorium on property reappraisals. And of course, Rowan County is scheduled to go through the reappraisal process starting next year. And so that obviously impacts us. And I think the greater concern and impact is what potential other bills may be out there that may restrict our authority to set our property tax levies and all of that. And so it kind of takes away our ability as local municipalities to directly control what we can and can't do with funding our budget. And so you'll see an additional agenda item. I would ask that we consider this tonight because this is actually timely in that the House is scheduled to vote on their House bill next Tuesday. And so that would be voting on Tuesday ahead of our meeting. But if we're able to review this tonight, consider and pass a resolution that would oppose the state legislation that reduced the local property tax authority. And this is a template being used by other municipalities around Rowan County, as well as the North Carolina League of Municipalities. So it's been vetted and recommended by them. And so I would encourage you to consider this tonight. Feel free to ask any questions. We'll try and answer what we can. But I'd like for us to consider approving this tonight so we can go ahead and get that sent to our legislative delegation and be on record as opposing that ahead of the vote on Tuesday of the House. So we'll open it up. Any questions? Peter, anything you want to add related to it?
The only thing
board members from City Vision information.
The only thing I would say is I believe the county is likely already or will soon be starting a reappraisal process that would take effect January 1, 2027, and then impact the budget we'd be putting together at this time next year. So not quite the situation of those that are getting ready that they were working on theirs last year and they're trying to make a budgets with it, but we're kind of next up in line.
Thanks for the clarification. Any input, Pat, any input when you're in from information gleaned at City Vision this week?
And I would mention too that Pamela and I attended the seminar at Central Lina last week too, and learned that we have a huge historic district, and those people pay 50% of get a tax break of 50%. So then we have a number of people who are who had qualify for the Homestead Act because of their age and income. So I mean we're already at a disadvantage.
And the fact that a large portion of our town is state-owned property that we don't get taxed on. Yeah.
All the property that belongs to the school system, all the property that belongs to the state with the museum, the property that belongs to the Standback Forest. I mean, those are wonderful things for us to have.
Absolutely.
But it surely affects where we have sources of revenue. So we were encouraged to make phone calls as well to our legislators and to do that over the weekend. And every time I see Harry Warren, I remind him of how we find the way to pay for our fire, our police, and our garbage pickup. And I ask citizens which they are willing to give up. And I usually get a blank stare.
I think we've discussed it often enough on this board, but I think keeping decisions that affect residents of Spencer at the local level as much as possible is important because we understand our community, we live within this community, we pay the same taxes. I also hesitate as a taxpayer to give authority about tax rates to an organization that for 2.5 years we haven't had a functional budget, and that's a concern for me as a resident. And so I personally would rather see my tax decisions being made at the municipal level, because we understand what the community needs to continue more than someone who frankly doesn't really come here that much, if at all.
Okay, anything else? All right, if there's no other comment or discussion, we will entertain a motion this evening to approve the resolution that is before you, and that we can go ahead and get it into our legislators.
I move to approve this resolution as it's been presented to us, and strongly encourage our legislative representatives to pay attention to it.
Thank you, Ms. Sledge. So there's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by everybody up here.
I first did it.
I'll give it to Miss Stanley. My left ear was tuned in. All right, all in favor? All right, all opposed? All right, this resolution is approved unanimously. I will sign it and we will get it out. All right, with that, we have come to the end of our agenda. You do have an additional item, I think that's before you, the departmental report for fire department. I think that's just an update to what was in your packet. So we'll have that for Tuesday. All right, anything else? We've reached the end of our agenda and we'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Unless you want to stay here. There's a motion by Ms. Stanley.
Second.
Second by Ms. Moody. All in favor? All right, all opposed? We stand adjourned. Thank you all.